The many portraits Mary Alice Copp has produced since the early 90s are not only beautifully rendered, but mean a great deal to the subjects themselves and the community surrounding them. The great majority of her recent work has come from two separate but equally profound programs for teenagers in Newark, New Jersey, and Santa Cruz, California. Her work is included in many significant private and corporate collections. Mary Alice says that painting someone's image requires a partnership of trust. That's not necessary in painting still life subjects or landscape. No one will question how many branches a tree has, she says, but entrusting an artist with one's image is quite another story. After living and painting in Morristown, New Jersey for a number of years, Mary Alice and her husband David moved back to her family's home in Rio Del Mar, California, which is where we met.
These paintings were done at the Newark Museum in Newark, New Jersey. So the students get to pick something in the museum collection that meant a lot to them. These are some of the objects from the museum that are very familiar to people that know that collection. It's a matter of just the person sitting down and me looking at them closely and trying to get down what I see. But almost invariably, that same thrill comes no matter, what the person looks like, that wonder at the appearance of that particular person. And the challenge of trying to really get that sense of appreciation for the person and a sense of their inner life. So that doesn't just look like a replication of a photograph, but it looks like a breathing, thinking human being, a very specific person. At the best moments, you're totally taken out of yourself. The ego goes away, and you're just in a state of something is happening that's happening from the eye, looking at the person, and then the response to that person goes sort of right through into the hand and onto the canvas, and sort of in some amazing way is this loop, and the normal mind chatter is out of it, and it's just a real pure fluid reaction to what you're looking at, and it's a fabulous feeling. It's almost like you feel like the painting is painting itself. That doesn't happen too often, but when it happens, it really is as close to an elevated meditative state, I would say, that I've ever been in. And that same sort of joy that I think, and calm that comes from just feeling like you're really in the flow, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
For me, it was just a sort of a physical urge to make things that was present from the time I was a little girl. I just always wanted to be coloring or sewing or making something. And the idea of being an artist was foreign in my family. There were no artists. But by about the time I was 18, when I had a stretch of 3 or 4 months of not doing any artwork, I just felt the loss of it so strongly that I began to take art classes in college and realized that it was just something I wanted in my life all the time. So it was like a physical need almost.
Mm-hmm.
I started out by doing my friends, mostly middle-aged friends that would sit for me and were
forgiving as I learned to do this, and probably did 30 or 40 of them, family members. And then at the Newark Museum, I painted about 30 students, and I did 7 last year in Santa Cruz, and I'm continuing with that now. So I don't know, a lot.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I said to all of them, I won't stop on the portrait until we both feel comfortable with it. We both like it. So, and that they know their faces better than I know their faces. So if they see anything that they think is not right, that they should tell me, and I'll make it so that it's, as right as I can make it, because I want them to feel completely comfortable before these pictures are shown to the public.
A lot of people underestimate the value of the arts. I think particularly in America, we overvalue capitalism and commercialism, and we undervalue the contribution that the arts can make to healing divisions within people and in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Most artists do ask themselves at some point, well, why am I doing this? I'm spending my life doing this. Nobody appreciates it. Am I any good? Am I wasting my time? And then I would go to New York and I'd see the show of someone fabulous, And then I would think, well, if that artist hadn't spent his life doing this, we wouldn't have this. But also, for the 1,000 artists that didn't make it big, that didn't have the gifts of Sargent or Matisse, who knows what contribution those other people made and who knows what central part that played in their life, that gave their life meaning, whether or not it ever inspired anybody else. The work I'm doing now really it pleases me to do what I'm doing now, because after all the years where I was painting landscapes and still lifes and so forth, which was fine, really involving at the time, what I'm doing now is especially nice for me to doing this at this stage in my life, because I feel it also has some meaning for the people that I'm painting. Whether it was the students in Newark who then were hanging on the walls in the museum in Newark, for that community to see those students held up to the public was very meaningful for not only the students but for the community in Newark. And now to have these students that are struggling with addiction feel that they're being seen and their stories are going to be told through an exhibition of these paintings, and their lives held up and them honored for the struggle that they're going through to make something better out of their life. Mm-hmm. I'm pleased if my work can be part of that.
Yeah.
I think it's important to set goals for yourself. Shoot for things that are tougher and harder and higher than you've done up to that point. It was a great help to me when a friend, after I had been painting for 20 years or so, when a friend said, you need to be aiming higher. Don't settle for just what you've accomplished so far. Dream bigger dreams. And that was really important for me. I needed someone to encourage me to do that, because I think I might have been afraid to believe that I could go farther than I'd gone if I hadn't really been pushed. take the influences, but then synthesize it and really, really dig deep within yourself to get something as personal and individual as you possibly can.